Hello, this is Ramona De Paris. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Executive Interview Series. Today, we'll have David Mann, Chief Commercial Officer of Swintt, and we will be delving in the exciting world of games. So, David, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for the invitation, Ramona.
So, I'm going to throw you right in at the deep end. One of the biggest criticisms that games attract is that they are quite funky, very colorful, and maybe they might be thought of as appealing to children. How do you feel as a marketeer? I mean, do you feel a sense of responsibility? How do you approach this?
Yeah, I mean, it's, the gaming industry it's very highly regulated across numerous markets. And, the processes that operators have in place is to stop underage gambling. Children should not be able to access gaming sites. They should not be able to play the games. So where there may be all types of graphics and themes, I mean, everything is aimed towards the adult audience. And we want to make sure that everything is safe and responsible. And we don't want any children playing the games, so.
So you do feel that sense of responsibility. It's something that you are aware of as
Yes, of course. I mean, I think everybody in the industry together doesn't want any harm to come to any players, and especially we don't want to appeal to children. That's a definite no-no.
It's good to see that the industry has matured quite a lot in that respect, in fact. But about you, what brought you to Malta? How long have you been here?
Yeah, so I've had 7.5 years here in Malta. This summer has been extremely hot, and it maybe feels a bit longer than 7.5 years all of a sudden. But no, I came here originally to work with a sportsbook company. I moved here back in 2014. I finished my studies from university. I was working within the gaming sector already, and I thought it's a nice opportunity for me to move abroad and living a different culture, and also just to see how the gaming industry works as a career choice. Given I had a few years already there in the industry, I thought, let's give it a bash.
I'm curious, what attracted you to the industry in the first place? As in, I don't know, what gives a sparkle to your eye in iGaming?
Yeah, so, I mean, in the first place, I joined more in the sportsbook side. I was working in the retail betting shops in the UK. That was mostly through an interest in sport. I ended up, I used to go to the bookies now and again, place a few bets, and there was a job opportunity, so I took the chance to work there. Since I've joined the industry, I moved from retail betting, I moved to Malta, I came into the online side of sports betting. Then I moved to social casino, quite a strange jump. And then from there, I've kind of somehow, my path has went towards B2B casino iGaming. But I love the industry. I think it's a very exciting, dynamic industry. Living here in Malta, where it's like a hub for the industry as well. There's a lot of our industry peers, there's a lot of colleagues, there's a lot of friends here, and we all work within the same kind of jobs. So no, it's a really good place to work and a really good place to be in the industry.
The community is very welcoming, and that makes all the difference, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to say, it's been a very organic progression in a way for you as well.
Yeah. It's just step by step, I've managed to find myself in new positions that I've really enjoyed. And I think it's still quite early in the online days of the industry. There's a long way for us to go. So I'm excited to see where the journey leads from here.
Speaking of new roles, I believe it's been just over 6 months that you took over as Chief Commercial Officer at Swintt. What are the challenges you've identified so far?
I mean, besides more work, obviously. Yeah. No, we are still a small business and growing extremely fast. I have team members that report into me based across the world. So apart from time zone challenges, when we're a small business and we have people spread globally, the scale and the extreme growth that we're seeing, we're having to really expand the team, manage a lot of processes. And I think as a small company still with a startup attitude, nobody wants to shy away from any work. If something gets dropped, someone wants to pick it up.
Of course.
I'm quite prone myself to getting involved in stuff that maybe isn't within my remit, but I can help the company and I can drive it. We can obviously see the success is paying off. We're starting to grow rapidly. Not only have we had a massive expansion of the team based in Malta, we're also still hiring more people in Malta. So, things are going in the right direction. As a small group, we're all pulling towards the same goals. And I think people are enjoying to see and to join the Swintt success story as it happens.
Do you have any concerns that maybe the market might be oversaturated? I mean, there are so many game developers now how do you feel about this?
Competition is good, you know. I think from a player perspective, it's fantastic because we have more and more, competition across game providers where everybody's trying to make the next big thing. Everyone's trying to make new mechanics, and it's becoming really exciting to see what some of the competition have done and how that spurs us on in the market. In terms of saturation, I mean, it depends how the operators see it as well. We want to make sure that our partners and clients are well catered for, and if so long as we can provide the kind of content that they want and that will help them succeed, then I think we're still in a good place.
Fantastic approach. I have a buzzword for you, gamification, which I believe Swintt has jumped on the bandwagon maybe with the product. I believe it's called Swintt Gamify.
Yes, exactly.
So what can you tell us about this? Are the frills really that important to a player?
Yeah, so I mean, players, by introducing gamification across the content, we're giving players an extra level of excitement, so the games are already, there's all types of bells and whistles and there's already something there, but for gamification, you're offering something added value on top. So if a player's already playing a specific slot game, then, you might be actually giving them an extra prize just for their participation. This obviously, as I say, adds an extra level of engagement, of excitement for the players. And for us, it allows us to jazz up our content even more, allows us to engage with the audience even more and try out new things that we might be able to bring to the market that competitors haven't even thought about yet. So
I guess it makes the experience more immersive for the players.
Yeah, exactly. And as technology improves consistently, mobile products keep getting better and better. Gamification, the opportunities and what you can do with this, the possibilities are endless. So we have some exciting twists to come. So keep an eye on us from that regard.
Speaking of which, are there any hot trends that we should keep an eye out for that, Swintt is eyeing?
Yeah, players at the moment, there's a lot of trends that are picking up. We see, for example, high volatility content is very popular with players. These exciting, massive win opportunities. And it's becoming more and more common across the market. But it's a segment of players that enjoy those. There's all different types of trends and tastes for players. And we see it on a market level as well. A part of our approach is to release and develop content that resonates with a local audience, to give players in certain markets games that they enjoy, games that they're familiar with. And we see this as a great way for our partners to help their growth in certain markets because they can offer the right content for the right players.
Which markets do you operate on?
So we got our Swedish certifications. So Sweden was our first specific regulated market launch. It was a big moment for us, and as part of our group, we're part of a larger group of companies, and Sweden is a big market for us there as well. So we see it as that's a first step for us, and we have some other exciting regulated markets we're going to enter soon. And on top of that, of course, we have our MJ license as well. So we have a lot of our partners growing with our content there as well.
I believe you are also making a push for the Latin American market.
Yes.
How's that working out?
Yeah, so Latin America it's a very exciting opportunity. It's in terms of a kind of emerging player base and more mature players across the continent. It's something really exciting, and we think strategically it's somewhere we want to position ourselves, given the products we have across slots, across land-based style games, and even with our live dealer product, we think that in Latin America it's a great recipe for us to grow there with the players. During COVID, there was a massive shift of players to online out of necessity, and this is going to happen over time in most markets. But I think most people agree that there was a bit of a catalyst there from COVID to shift the players into the online sector, and Latin America is just another region that is also experiencing this shift to the mobile play, and our content is well optimized for this as well.
These are very exciting markets, obviously. Mergers are a big deal within game providers. So we've seen, for example, Evolution taking over NetEnt and others. Is there an exit strategy for Swintt, or are you here to stay, basically?
Yeah, we're here to stay. As I mentioned, we are part of a larger group, the Glitnor Group. Behind us, we have a lot of experience. There's a lot of really good people working in the company. And, we think that the best way forward for us to continue growing and be part of the expansion and growth across the industry. So no, I wouldn't say there's any exit strategy in mind. We just want to keep going from where we are, and yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
A bit of a difficult question. Let's not beat around the bush. iGaming does attract quite a bit of flack. But then there are several CSR maybe initiatives that can counteract this. Is Swintt paid back part of the strategy? What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so I mean, talking about the first point, the industry is an easy target, especially you see within the UK, the media, politicians can take easy, shots at the industry, and people forget that we are heavily regulated, we're intensely scrutinised, we're always under the microscope, more so than a lot of other industries that might have some harmful consequences. But we do try as an industry to keep it clean and to try and stay on top of this and make sure players are protected and everything's fair and transparent. Moving from there, we are developing our Swintt Play It Back product. Now this is essentially where we want players to become their own philanthropists and allow them to raise money for good causes while playing our games. So this will be a feature within our games that players can basically plug in their gameplay at no cost to the player, which is a crucial element.
Of course.
And in the background, they will be not only raising money, but we want to display it in a sense of how many books have you collected for schools in a less developed country, or how many bottles of water have you sent to an impoverished area. And we want to make sure that it's something more tangible for the players that they can see rather than some kind of small donation ticking over in the background.
They can actually see they're making a difference,
yes,
basically.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we will tie this in with operators. We can obviously then have, deals that we work with a specific operator, and then we can work together. Maybe they have their own foundation, maybe there's a certain charity or a world event that people want to raise money for. And we can use this tool as a way to benefit good causes at no expense to the player and let them be part of the, the ESG, the CSR journey that we are taking.
That's a lovely initiative. Yes, definitely. On that note, I have a word game for you, and then I will leave you in peace. I'm going to give you some words, and you tell me what springs to mind, basically. So, iGaming.
Exciting, dynamic industry, full of very bright people, and it's a very exciting time to be working in iGaming.
That's good. Slots.
Great fun. A lot of innovation behind slots as well, and my passion.
Millennials.
Exciting, in a way unknown, because it's going to be something completely new for some segments of the industry.
Evolution.
Titans.
And NetEnt.
And I guess they are now part of the Titans as well.
And that brings us to an end. Thank you guys for following us, and make sure you keep updated with all the latest iGaming news on Sigma TV.